I wanted to make a real quick video to show you what kind of detail we're getting into here. So this side here, you can see it's never been broke or anything. This side here, it was broken right here as well as right here, so that end was snapped off. This has a captured nut, and these are the hood extensions for the Farmall Cub. This is actually the captured nut, and I took that out of there so I could do some welding and some reinforcing. So after I got that piece welded on, I said, you know what, I'm going to grab the GoPro and just make a short video of this, because what I'm going to do is I have some box tubing here, and I used a micrometer to get the thickness on that metal, and I compared it to the thickness of this metal, as well as the thickness to a sheet of my sign aluminum. This is the aluminum, or not aluminum, but the steel that you would use for signs. And this is too thin. That's a little thicker than what we have right here. I'll flip this up so you can kind of see an edge shot of that. So we got a little thicker, a little bit too thin, and I think we're going to opt to go with the thicker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a flat blade on my grinder, and I'm going to go ahead and basically cut a gusset. And let me grab this marker up here, and we'll show you what we're going to do to reinforce this. So basically we are going to come in and, let me get this camera right, we're going to cut a piece that looks something like this, something like that, and something that looks like that. And we're going to cut 4 of them as gussets to help reinforce that. So basically I'm going to have 2 pieces of metal cut like that out of this, and then we're going to lay that in there. Let's see if I can get that back in there, if I had the camera right. So we're going to lay those 2 pieces of metal in there, something like that. Once we get them in there, we'll take the welder and weld that all along the edge. And I'm going to do that on both of them. Even though this is the one that was broke, I'm going to put it on this one as well to help reinforce it, because as I was trying to take the captured nut out of this one, the metal is just a little softer than what I like to see. So we're going to make some gussets. I'm not going to show you the whole process, but basically we're just going to take that flat wheel and cut triangles, and then go over to the grinder and kind of round the edges and everything to get it to fit nice and tight, so I don't have a whole lot of gaps to weld in. So we're making gussets for the blind nut holder. So I've already cut one side of the gusset. I did not take into consideration that this angle is more than 90 degrees, and I don't know how I can show that to you, but this is open more than 90 degrees, as well as this is open more than 90 degrees. See if I can show you that if I line the edges up there. So when I cut my gussets on a 45 and I ground my corners round on the inside there, I'll pull this away a little bit. You can see that that fits in there really good, and that's going to be important when I go to weld. This one here doesn't fit quite as good, but man, it's real close. I'm tickled to death. So we're going to cut 2 more for the angle that is more than 90 degrees, and all right, so here we have all 4 of the gussets in place, and as you can see, they're all pretty tight. And we'll pull them away a little bit so you can get a better look at them. So now the next step is going to be to take them over to the table, grind me a spot up here so I can get a ground on these, and then I'm going to go ahead and weld these in place, and we'll show you what that looks like. Alright, we just got done welding this one. I'll show you what it looks like. This is one side of it. Doesn't matter what it looks like right now, as long as you get that weld down that seam and get it burnt all the way through. So next thing we'll do is take the grinder and get it ground down. Alright, here you can see the finished product. Get a little closer, you can see where the weld overlays it. I'm not worried about that. Once I paint it, it'll be behind everything, so we're good.